Hi everyone, my name is Olivia Estelle. Today I wanted to just do a quick video on the subject of religious trauma. This is something that is really near and dear to my heart. It is very close to my experience, and it is just really coming up for the collective right now. It's really coming up no matter what kind of religion people are in. It is time to address the ways in which religion isn't working. And what I feel really strongly about is what happens with religious trauma is that we throw the baby out with the bathwater. We tend to just go full atheist or full agnostic. And I just see that as sort of a problematic reaction, and but yet a necessary one. I feel like when we are coming out of religion, if someone is like, okay, that did not work for me, I'm leaving behind, whatever church they went to, they tend to swing far in the other direction, and that can be agnostic, atheist, and more than often it is angry. So that's really okay. I really feel like that is a necessary step in the healing process. I think kind of the time that I spent as an atheist, a self-proclaimed atheist, after leaving, the Southern Baptist Fundamentalist Church that I was raised in, it was, my pendulum swang all the way to the other side where I just left out everything. And I actually had kind of a problem with Jesus, and I didn't want to pray, and I didn't want to really use any of the vocabulary that the Baptists are so attached to. Because I found that it's really about the vocabulary for them, for their belief. You have to use the same vocabulary for them to feel comfortable. Otherwise, they're in just full on, condemnation mode. So I kind of swung in the opposite direction. But really, that was a necessary step. I think it's necessary for people coming out of religious trauma to be angry and, to go the opposite direction. And I'm not condemning anyone, who is an agnostic or atheist. But I know for me and for some people, the clients that I've worked with, it's only one step, right? It's not the end goal. Like what I found, what happened to me is that I swung out of Baptist, and then I was over here, nothing, agnostic, I'm atheist. And I was left pretty vulnerable. I was left open because I just kind of threw out the baby with the bathwater, threw everything out, and then didn't pursue spirituality any further. So I almost just threw out all of spirituality. And then when I got back into it, it was kind of a new age spirituality rather than me truly excavating what was inside me to find where my roots lie. And that's what I think is really important when it comes to religious trauma and calling out what is wrong with religion. And it is so necessary. We need to do it. We're seeing it right now in Iran. We're seeing it, in the church, the Christian church of all kinds, here in America. But it's a necessary step. It needs to happen. We need to call out these inconsistencies, these imbalances in religious dogma. And fundamentalism is really on its way out right now anyway. So I'm just kind of putting this out there because I want all the ex-fundamentalists, all the healing fundamentalists, because I am one of them, just to know that part of that pendulum, swinging, I needed it to come back. Like I needed it to come back to center, not all the way back to fundamental, and it's the center that we need to find. And the center is our own faith. So what faith really is to me, when I think about faith, it's my own ability to stay connected and joyful and pursuing my goals and dreams. I feel like that's keeping the faith. Not a religion, not keeping a faith in God or this idea, although, an idea of a bigger, like a higher idea of God is a great thing. I really feel like keeping the faith in your own ability to manifest was the key for me. Keeping the faith in my own ability to connect to higher spirituality. that was more, I think, important to healing me than anything else I did. And so taking some time to kind of let go and heal all of the old expectations and dogma that comes from fundamentalist religion trauma, that was part of it. And then I did a lot of regression work, a lot of meditation work, a lot of just visualization and journeying to find kind of where my truth lied. What is my definition of God? What is my higher definition of God, right? To get to kind of get back to center, back to where I felt like I wasn't in a place of reaction, that I was in a place of connection. Because that's really what protects us. That's really what heals us, is getting into the spiritual places of connection. And I feel like that's personal and unique to each one of us. We shouldn't be going to, a building where a one-size-fits-all thing is kind of spoon-fed to us. This is what you should believe. This is the vocabulary you should use. I think that has run its course. I think it's run out of time, really. And so now dredging our own kind of emotional root system and following our faith back to the source is the work. And so I just want you to know that, if you used to be religious, or even really anyone that has come out of a cult will resonate with this, or any kind of dogmatic fundamentalism of any kind will resonate with this idea. The idea that, staying angry and in the reaction is healthy at first. That's good. That's how you know you're breaking free. But then to work toward your own center rather than remaining kind of in this angry state, because that is what leaves people more spiritually vulnerable. It's also not very healthy. Like the body, it breaks down the body. If I remained there too long, it was just more depression, honestly. I had to really get back. And so what that means for me when I say like get back, I did lots of regression work where I visualized, my higher self and figured out, oh, where is she from? Who is she? What is my own ancient history? Rather than, the texts, the spiritual sacred texts around me, what is my own sacred text? And to really find that for ourselves is really sacred work. It's really special and beautiful to kind of write your own sacred text. This is my story. These are the goddesses or the gods, or this is the spiritual tradition that I connect with. These are my ancestors. Maybe we know, maybe you're able to really connect with, your grandparents, your great-grandparents, or maybe it's someone way further, up the line of ancestry that is really coming through first. I feel like modern society has broken off our connection to our ancestry. And what that means is that it breaks kind of our connection to our own source of, if they're breaking the connection to our own bloodline, it's breaking our connection to source. So we have to kind of look elsewhere for it. We're kind of grasping, okay, religion or, this dogma or that, or stealing things from other cultures that have retained that connection better than we have. That's kind of what I see happening, in modern society in America. And I really feel like the antidote to that is to do our own autonomous spiritual excavation. And I do that with regressions, but you can really do that, with meditations or visualizations, journeys. All of those things can really just start breaking down the layers of the onion, so you get deeper and deeper and deeper. What happened for me is I was giving like a little piece at a time of the picture. And the picture didn't really make sense until several years of this work, just to give you an idea of, this process. If you've like, oh yeah, I've done that before, really, like if you do it once, you're given like a breadcrumb, and the breadcrumb is meant to lead you to the next one. It's a trail to follow. It's not, like sometimes we can have these expectations of instantaneous, healings, or like these huge breakthroughs where everything falls into place. And for me, the truth was that it took longer to do. It wasn't, while they felt, tremendous and healing, it wasn't like it was all healed at once. And so I think this kind of instant gratification is also something that I had to set aside with my religious trauma, because that was part of the fundamental message, is that, just believe in God, just follow me and everything will be fine, will work out. And while that can feel comforting in the moment, really it doesn't work. And I think people are really starting to wake up to it, admitting that to themselves, that there is really no instant gratification, one size fits all answer, that we each have our own lineage and our own trajectory spiritually. And the way that I see it is actually, through our ancestors, through our past lives, so through our spiritual lineage, our physical lineage, and our spiritual lineage. And then from there, it is the states that we attained, especially between our lives, where we actually could traverse the planets. And so you get into planets and star systems. So you get into an even more cosmic view of your spirituality. The deeper that you go, it will take you there. Like you will go there. I guarantee it. Like the more of this work that you do with healing your connection to your ancestors, connecting back to them, because they want to heal you. Your ancestors want you to heal, because that heals them, right? They are doing their work by helping us. We just have to let it in. And so that is really what I have found with the spiritual work. And then you get it into your higher self and who that is. And that's like your direct connection to spirit, to spirituality, to healing and your own source and your own higher wisdom, your own higher life. Your higher self is just the person standing on top of the mountain. They can just see a little bit, and we're down in the valley. They can see a little bit further than we can. It's not like they're better or worse. It's not like a hierarchy. They can just see a little further. They see the bigger picture. They retain more of the memory than we do here in a body. And so connecting ourselves to our kind of interdimensional self, our interdimensionality, helps us on the third dimension realize, to let go of stuff. It helps with healing, because healing is a spiritual thing. We heal at the spiritual level. We're healing the spiritual bodies, and while we do have to pay absolutely attention to the physical, it's just true healing happens at the spiritual level. We just have to kind of create space on the physical for that to happen. And that's kind of what I get more into with my work with my husband, who is a meditator and, a holistic chiropractor, naturopath. So it's like these are two sides of the same coin. Healing, we want to heal on the physical so that we can heal deeper, on the spiritual level. And a big part of that is healing religious trauma. So please comment, in the bottom. Let me know what your questions are. If you want me to get more into this, if you want me to go deeper on the subject of religious trauma, if you have any questions, and just anything else that you would like for me to talk about in the weeks ahead, I would really appreciate it. So please help me out by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And I hope you have a great day.